everyone. So I am going to be doing a Q&A video today and all of that. So I hope you guys enjoy. So basically I got my questions here that I wrote down on a piece of paper so then I could really read it. I know I said that I was gonna substitute some questions like from people that asked multiple questions on Facebook and on TikTok, even though not many people asked me questions on TikTok. Most of them came from Facebook. But basically I needed 10 questions, so there are going to be some people that still have some of their multiple questions in there. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, but I had to have a look at it and I thought I would just, But before we get into the Q&A, I'd like you all to do me a favor. I would like you to like, and I would also like you to press subscribe and set the notification bell to you're always notified when I'm posting, because that would mean so much for this channel, as I keep saying time and time again. Now let's just get into it. So our first question comes from TechMan on TikTok, and he asked, who was your favorite superstar in the Ruthless Aggression era? So my favorite superstar like in the Ruthless Aggression era, I don't really have a type, but I do know that my favorite would have been Joe Hendry if Joe Hendry was in the Ruthless Aggression era, but he wasn't, so I'm gonna have to go with D-Generation X, particularly Triple H, because the way he and DX would conduct themselves with a lot of things, especially pranks and their promos, it was always funny to me. And I loved how they were like making everything comedic during the Randy Orton and Edge segment, where Edge and Randy Orton came out and were dressed as DX, mocking DX as they went about their day and all of that, which obviously prompted a match. And there's a lot of things I can't say on here that they said, because I gotta try and keep it PG at least. So yeah. Now my next question comes from Kristie, and this is a bit of a long one, so buckle up. Have you and Bill thought about having kids? If so, how many names have you picked out? Okay, so I've been asked this question so many times. Like, this question was asked by so many people, so I'll put their questions that were relating to kids on the screen as well with this one. But basically, have Bill and I thought about having kids, and if so, how many, and what names have we picked out? So I'm gonna talk about it. Bill and I have talked about having kids. We have talked about whether kids are in our future and all of that. And safe to say that now a lot of people probably gonna hate me for this choice. Basically Bill and I have decided that kids are not in the cards for our future. We have decided that because, I don't know, we feel that we can be child free and still be happy without children. Because children, yeah, I don't mind children, but I do have sensory issues when it comes to that. And I'm always afraid, what if the child's going to have a tantrum? What if the baby screams and cries and all of that? And I'm in a sensory overload because of it, and I don't be the mother that they want me to be. So that is why Bill and I were both happy not having children. I've always been happy not having children, and this was even before my autism diagnosis. So yeah, but I know that you'd probably want to know names about what I would call my child, or what Bill and I would call our children. And we got two, so I'll name them right now. And this is if we were to have kids. The first name that comes to mind is Christina for a girl. And the reason why we would pick Christina for a girl is simply because, one, it is a beautiful Greek name, and Bill and I would keep towards Bill's family, nationality, and heritage and culture with the child's name. Hey, this is future Caitlin here. Don't mind the look. I just got out of the shower. I also am in my pajamas, but basically I just want to explain a bit more about why I would keep the name within like Bill's Greek heritage for like the daughter and all of that. If we were to ever have children, I would not want our daughter to grow up thinking that she doesn't know her culture and all of that, because I'd want her to grow up knowing who she is and where she comes from and all of that. And if that is giving her a Greek name, then so be it, you know. But yeah, I want her to know like where her heritage is, because even though I grew up not knowing I have autism, which now I know that I've got autism because I've been tested, but like I grew up also not knowing like what my background was exactly. All I knew was that on my mum's side I'm British, and on my dad's side I'm Australian and Scottish, and somewhere in the middle I'm German, but I don't know who holds that like ancestry of being German. That's the thing in my family. So yeah. But I grew up literally asking my parents all the time, where do I come from? What is my heritage? And you can see I've got like similar hair color to what Joe Hendry used to have as his natural hair color. So that's what made me believe even more that I'm a little bit Scottish, if you know what I mean. But like, yeah, I don't want our potential future daughter, mine and Bill's potential future daughter, if we ever do decide to have kids and change our minds about the whole perspective of kids thing. I don't want her growing up not knowing where she came from and what her heritage is. So yeah, that's another reason for why I'd keep it in the Greek culture for Bill, on Bill's side, because I want her to know that on her dad's side she's part Greek, and on the other side she's part British and part Scottish and part Australian. So yeah. Or should I say on both sides she'd be Aussie. But anyway, back to past Caitlin with explaining another reason why I would call the future daughter Christina. And number 2, it is the same name as his sister, and we would be naming our kid after Christina, his sister, because I've been really close to Christina, and it is a thanks to Christina for always being there for me and always being there for Bill and all of that. The second name that comes to mind for a boy would be Liam. It would be Liam for a boy because it just gives me a connection to Liam Payne, who, as you guys may know, died a month ago. I think a month ago on Friday, to be exact, or a month ago on Thursday for us. But yeah, it was a really sad time when Liam died, but Liam Payne had a really big impact on my childhood, on my teenage years, with not just the music he produced with One Direction, but with the music that he produced as a solo artist. So I feel like that would definitely be a name, if it were a boy, that I would stir to giving the kid. But as I said, I'm not going to be having kids anytime soon, and neither is Bill, and we've discussed this, so yeah. Okay, my next question is, what is the biggest thing you ever wanted to achieve in life? And this question comes from my partner, who asked me the question on Facebook. So the biggest achievement I've ever wanted in life is just to really let kids or adults know that if they do get diagnosed with autism, and all of that doesn't change anything, that they are more than their diagnosis, than what they realize, and all of that, because it's something that I've struggled with thinking a lot, ever since I got diagnosed. Because when I first got diagnosed with autism, I thought, does this mean I'm any less smart? Because of everything that has been going around on TikTok and Facebook about autism, the terrible stigma and all of that, and I don't know, yeah, and the stereotypes around it. But yeah, I sort of do want to teach people that are on the autism spectrum that they're more than their diagnosis, and than what they realize, and all of that. And I want to do this by writing a book, publishing a book, and just doing it through either public speaking, as I said, or writing a book and publishing it, I should say. But yeah, there's a lot of things that I want to do to make sure that people that are on the spectrum, like myself, they yeah, they definitely deserve to know that they are more than what they were diagnosed with. And I have a certain wrestler to thank for that. His name's Will Ospreay. He's also neurodivergent, if you look at all of the interviews that he's had. But yeah, I would definitely, that is my inspiration, like his, is to I don't know, inspire other neurodivergent kids that that discourage themselves, and neurodivergent adults who also discourage themselves. But another one of my big achievements that I want to achieve, and all of that, I don't know why I said one of my big achievements. I should say one of my big aspirations to achieve is also break down barriers for people with autism and show others that I can still go to uni, because that is something I want to do. I want to study at uni. I want to get either my IT degree or my business degree, so then I can start up my business, which will be like Caitlin's Creations. It'll be a beading service and all of that. And I want to like learn some tips on that if IT doesn't work out and all of that. Which I got a page currently called Caitlin's Creations, which currently I am showing creations, not selling them. So yeah, I will put the link in the description. Now this next question comes from Christina, who is Bill's sister, and she asks me, what would you want? Would you want a big wedding? Sorry, not what. Would you want a big wedding or a small wedding? Would you want it inside or outside? Okay, so this is gonna be a short answer. I apologize and all of that, sorry. So to be honest, I would like a small wedding, limited to only close friends and family. And the reason for that being is because I get overstimulated quite easily if there's like 1,000 people at a wedding. You know, I get overstimulated with that. Even though I handled myself pretty well at Mitchie's and Naomi's wedding, and they had like, I don't know, over 60 guests at their wedding, roughly. But yeah, with my wedding, with mine and Bill's wedding, I would not want like too many people there, because at the end of the day, too many people would just get my anxiety up. So it would be limited to close friends, family, and it would also be a child-free wedding. But when I say child-free, I mean like saying that the only children that can come to this wedding is like any close family, any children that are part of the family on both sides, because at the end of the day they deserve to enjoy a wedding and all of that. However, the other guests that have kids, if they're guests and they have no relation to us but they're just friends, then I would tell them that they have to make alternative alternative reservations for the child. I cannot speak today. I think it's like the heat. But anyway, I got there in the end. Okay, so this is future Caitlin back again and all of that. And I just wanted to come on here quickly because I wanted to answer the next part of Christina's question, because I realized I didn't have footage for that. So basically, the ceremony will be an outdoors ceremony, like on the beach or somewhere. Don't know where yet. Haven't planned that far, but I would just like it outside and all of that. Unless if it's on a really hot day, then we'd have to make alternative arrangements where we have the reception and the ceremony in the same place. But with the reception, I'm happy having it inside, as like you don't really want to be outside for too long when the sun's out or if it's cold or whatever, because like, yeah, there's such thing as people getting sick. So yeah, But like, in all seriousness though, yeah, I feel like a reception inside would be really great, especially if it does get too loud and all of that. You won't get as many complaints as you would if you were to do it outside with music blaring. But yeah, that's how I would have my wedding, to be honest. Now back to past Caitlin with the next question. Okay, the next question I got was from, I can't remember his name. I'm gonna have to put his question up somewhere on the screen, luckily, for you all to see his name. But I think his name's Ethan or something. Okay, so he asked, what games, electronic or physical, are good for couples? Now, to be honest, I don't really have much of an answer, because I struggled with answering this question and all of that, because I didn't know what you meant, so I just put it into a context that I thought you meant, if you know what I mean. But basically, this was a really hard question to answer and all of that, but it's really a good one. So basically, I really don't know like which game in specifics would definitely be a good game for couples and all of that, but because there's a lot of games out, that's because there's a lot of games out there and all of that. So yeah, like physical and electronic. However, if you're asking me for one answer in particular, I have definitely narrowed it down to one answer, and it is definitely Nintendo Switch Sports, because you have team features in that section of the game. In fact, you could also put on the Wii Sports and you'll have a team feature for tennis. But there's a team feature for not just tennis in Nintendo Switch Sports, but also bowling and all of that. And you wouldn't necessarily have to limit it to couples doing it. You could have so many things. Like if you wanted to limit it to couples, sure you can, but I would expand that and have that and play as a family, maybe play with your friends too on the game and team up with each other, because it calls for good communication skills. It calls to practice those. Because trust me, the one thing you do not want in a relationship or anything is the most fucked up communication skills with one another. Because at the end of the day, that is going to ruin a relationship. That is going to ruin like a friendship. It's going to ruin everything. And with how you perceive relationships with people. Disclaimer, I am not a relationship coach. Continue. I have seen studies where it shows that a lot of relationships and friendships end from the lack of communication skills. There have been even times where friendships have ended with me because of that. So yeah. Okay, so Sophie Cheadle asks, where would your dream home be? And that is a really good question to ask, so I'm going to answer it. To be honest, my dream suburb would definitely be in like my childhood suburb. My childhood suburb and childhood home. Now, I can't really get into specifics of where that is, because we've had issues in the past when, like, when pizzas were being delivered last year to our address, but we didn't order any pizzas. If you know, you know. I'm not going to get into details on that drama because it was hectic at the time and all of that. But basically, I would love for my home to be my childhood home and all of that. My childhood suburb where I called home for 19 years of my life before I moved out at the age of 20, or partially at the age of 19 before I turned 20, because it was like a month before the pandemic and things like that. I just exposed my age there, even though a lot of people know what my age is. Okay, my next question comes from Hannah De Jong, and all of that. So her question is, who are your best friends, and are there any that you class as a sister? If so, who? Hey everyone, so this is future Caitlin here again. Different clothes because I never really got a chance to edit this video much, and all of that. So I'm sorry for the delay in this video coming out, but anyway, thought I would re-answer this question because my original taping, I had a look at it. It seemed pretty depressing, so here goes. I do have best friends. However, I don't really like having a favorite best friend, only because I do not like picking favorites within a friendship group. That's just not me. However, I do class a lot of best friends as sisters and all of that. Like, all my best friends are like my sisters and brothers as well, because I get along with guys as guy best friends a lot. Yeah, I do not like favoritism within friendship groups. That's just, I don't like it. I think it's petty behavior and all of that, because basically I've been in a friendship group where I was the least favorite friend, and a lot of the time it meant that I would be left out of a lot of things, like sleepovers and stuff. And basically a lot of the time that I was included in stuff was birthday parties and stuff, but yet I made an effort for those people and all of that, but still was the least favorite friend in that group. In a lot of groups I was in, actually. But yeah, what can you do, really? That's why I'm learning from my past mistakes and being friends with people that value me as a person and not as someone that can just make their group bigger, you know? So yeah, that is my answer to that question. This question also comes from Hannah. Question is, what is your favorite movie? Okay, so my favorite movie, I don't really have one because I don't watch many movies. I mainly watch like wrestling stuff and all of that. So as you guys may know, I watch wrestling stuff, and the only movies I get to watch are pay-per-views. But I do in my spare time watch movies here and there. I have watched a movie which is like an indie film on YouTube, and it's basically about a guy named John Gold, and it's called I Am Vengeance. And basically this John Gold guy is rumored to be dead. He's rumored that he got killed and all of that. And he also And he also gets revenge on the guys that actually killed his best friend and all of that, the one that's actually dead, or deceased I should say. And I got to mention that the lead role in this movie happens to be from a WWE superstar who was so underutilized, it's not even funny, who is rumored to have a feud with Drew McIntyre and all of that. His name's Wade Barrett, but you would all know him from his days with the Nexus, basically, and all of that, which I loved the Nexus growing up, especially Justin Gabriel. Like, man, PJ Black, Justin Gabriel, back in the day, he was hot. And I'm going to be honest about that. I am going to be honest. I had a celebrity crush on him and all of that. So, yeah. But, yeah, if you're into drama and action, I suggest typing in I Am Vengeance in YouTube. There are some films that got uploaded under the I Am Vengeance, so don't get mistaken by Batman. There should be a picture of Wade Barrett, like, as the thumbnail, like as John Gold, basically. So yeah, but it is such a great film and I loved it. There was so many comedic stuff in it, like, next round's on me, lads, just randomly, like, he just says that, like, honestly, yeah. But yeah, okay, I got 2 more questions left, and the second to last question is question number 9 from Codie Collins. Where is your favorite place to visit? And again, this is another short answer, so I'm just gonna get into it in the next clip. Okay, so I've got a lot of favorite places to go, and I guess that's from either being neurodivergent or just always having that, but basically my biggest favorite place, I should say, is definitely Glenelg Beach, or going to any beach as long as it's a beach in the summer. And it is one of the reasons why I am so excited for the beach, or so excited for summer, is because I get to go to the beach, I get to swim, I get to do all of that. You may think it's because of Christmas, and yes, I've been excited for Christmas in the past. That's why I've been excited for summer in the past, because of that. But no, my biggest reason now that I've gotten older is that I just love going to the beach. That's why I love summer now. And I get to wear shorts and less constrictive clothes, if you know what I mean. Restrictive clothes, I should say. That really restrict, like, my movement and all of that, like jeans and stuff. So yeah, and even if it's not summer, I still go to the beach here and there for some tranquility time and all of that, to make myself feel at peace with myself and all of that, because sometimes I need a place to de-stress. As an autistic girl, I really need something like that. So yeah, is the last question number 10. What is your favorite food? And that is a question Hannah asked. This question is a really good question, as well as it being a hard question, because I love food. I love it a lot, and all of that. Sort of why I am finding it hard to answer this question. So yeah, basically I love anything from fruits to chips, snacks, stuff like that. So yeah, but I do love cheese and onion chips, and it's always been a thing for me where I love cheese and onion chips. Like, even my parents would get out the cheese and onion chips on Christmas Day, because we would have a mini Christmas party, watch party, because there was the carols and all of that, repeats of the carols and the Christmas pageant on TV that my granddad would always want to watch, and all of that. So yeah, and this was all before my granddad passed away. We would have many great Christmases with the cheese and onion chips and stuff. Even my first word was cheese and onion chips when I was a baby, apparently. So yeah, funny story about that one. However, I didn't really get to eat many cheese and onion chips in my childhood because everyone thought that when I would have my autism meltdowns, it would be because of the chips, because of the preservatives. Well, I can confirm that the reason why I have meltdowns isn't because of preservatives, because I'm fine after eating stuff with preservatives in it and all of that. I just had meltdowns when I was younger, or tantrums when I was younger, because I had anxiety about a lot of things, and it was my anxiety talking in the best way for me as a child to process all of it. Now that was the final question. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will do another Q&A down the track with questions that were not used for this. So I still have a lot of other questions to answer, but I will save that for another Q&A down the track, also with new questions that will get asked. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and again, give this video a like and a subscribe, because I would be appreciative of it. So yeah, but anyway, I will let you guys go, and I will see you all in the next video, whatever that video may be. So bye guys.